Okay guys, so this is 8.4, the last lesson for the module, angle relationships. That's a standard for geometry, and then being able to solve problems given angles and finding the relationship with at least 80% accuracy given your independent practice. So in this lesson is gonna be a little different. So you'll have one of this that I'm gonna give you. We're gonna fill it in, and then you also have one of this this little wheel. So you have to cut it, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna have it like this with this little prong. You're gonna poke the black circle like so, and then on the back you're gonna go like this. You're gonna open it up like that. Okay, so you have this one for part of your notes, and then you have this one as well. Okay, the only one that is not here is congruent. So congruent is basically meaning the same or the same measurement, in this case with the angles, and then the other symbol that we use is a little so it's an equal sign with a squiggly line on the top. That's congruent. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fill up our chart here, and then we'll also do our wheel so you can see how that should be done. Okay, what we have here is adjacent angles. We don't have that here, but adjacent angles are basically the pair of angles that are the shared vertex. Remember, vertex is the connection right there, and where two lines connect, the pointy part. Okay, and they do have to share a side. Now with adjacent angles, basically they're like neighbor angles. So let me just kind of like go over this really quick. So in this case, this, like for instance, angle 2 and angle 1, those will be adjacent, or angle 3 and angle 1, they cannot overlap, meaning, so then in this case, let me go over here. So for in this case, so for instance, in this one angle, we will say angle ABD, so this one right here, right? ABD is adjacent to angle DBC. So angle DBC. Okay, now when it says that they cannot overlap, let me show you what that means. So what that means is, if you were to have angle ADB, right, and you agree that this is another angle right here, ABC, that will be sharing the same vertex, that one's overlapping, so that would not be an adjacent angle. They have to be neighbors. Okay, so that's that for that. Go ahead and finish the rest of it. Okay, remember when it has three layers like that, so like in this case it's angle AFB, it will be AFB, so this right here. Okay, this one, tell me which one is the neighboring angle, the adjacent angle, and then this one, name the two angles adjacent to YZW. So then I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and do number 3 for me on your puzzle. Okay, so name the two angles that are adjacent to that angle right there. Okay, so let's get to the other items. So complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. Now they do not have to be adjacent, they just have to add up to 90 degrees. Okay, so they have to create a right triangle. So if we go over here on our little wheel, we can see that right there, complementary angles add up to 90. So when I put those two together, it will create a 90-degree angle. So those are complementary angles. Okay, so let me go ahead and do number 3 for you, because I know that has to do with expressions, and I'll have you guys do 1 and 2 on your own. And let me go ahead and do this one so I can tell you which one to do afterwards. So we know that those together add up to 90 degrees. So that means that I'm going to add this, and that is going to equal to 90 degrees. So this one, basically for this one, you're going to tell me what this is. If I were to add that angle H and J, and that equals to 90, what else do I need from here to get it to 90? So when I put this one together right here, how much would that be? Okay, so answer that for me. Right here, give me the pair of complementary angles. That means two angles that add up together give you 90 degrees. Remember, this little square means that they are a right angle. I'm going to do this one for you, so you can go ahead and do number 3 as well for me on your paper, and also transfer that over to the Ed puzzle. So then we have AX plus 5 plus 3X plus A, because all together it's going to give me 90. And I'm going to combine like terms, all my x's together. So 8x plus 3x is 11x, and then I can add these two together, so plus 13 equals 90. Remember, I'm going to do inverse operation to figure out my x. So I subtract here, that will give me 77 divided by 11, x equals 7. Now I'm not done because actually I am done. It's asking me use for the x, but let me go ahead and finish it off so you can see what you need to do to this one. Now what I'm gonna do is, I know that x equals to 7, so I'm gonna plug in the 7 for the x when I see it right here. So that will be 8 times 7 is 56, plus 5 more, that will be 61 degrees. Okay, and then I can plug it in right here. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 8 is 29. And then let me check my work. Is it true that 61 plus 29 equals 90? Yep, it is true. So that means my answer is right. The other way to do it is, once you get this one, I can just say, okay, 90 minus 61 is going to give me 29. So you don't have to actually plug in the value for x. Okay, let's go to supplementary angles. So our wheel says that supplementary angles add up to 180. Okay, so again, two angles that add up to 180. They do not have to be adjacent again, just like complementary. They just have to add up to 180. So I'm gonna give you on this one a pair, and then you're gonna give me the other pair. Okay, so I can say that this angle right, these two angles right there create a line, so that will be supplementary angles because they add up to 180. So I can say angle GED and angle DEF. Okay, that's one pair. Go ahead and give me another pair right here. Okay, so this one right here, tell me, so if this is 132, how much is this one if added together equals 180? Let me go ahead and do this one for you, and then you can go ahead and do number 3 for me and answer that on your puzzle and do it and do your work here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply the 1 4 to each one of the terms inside because I have to distribute that. So 36, let me kind of just show you what that is. So 36 times 1/4, I can put a 1 under it, so it's basically multiplying times the top, which is 36, and then dividing by the bottom number. So then I can say 36 times 1 is 36 divided by 4, and that's 9x. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. So minus 8 times 1 is 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then right here I'm gonna add that one, right? So 6 times 1/2 is just half of it, so that's 3x, and then half of that's 10. I'm gonna combine like terms, so it'll be 12x, and then this 2 will give me negative 12, and that's equals to 180. I'm gonna add 12 on both sides because I'm gonna do inverse operation to isolate my x. Bring down my 12x, and that will give me 192 divided by 12 divided by 12. So then what I'm going to do after I get my 16, I'm going to plug it back into either that or this, figure one out, and then subtract it from 180 to get my second angle. So I'm going to work with this one right here because it's easier for me to multiply 3 times 16. So that's 48 because I'm basically substituting the 16 right here. Minus 10 is 38. So this angle right here is 38 degrees. And if those two together add up to 180, I will have to go like this. This angle right here is 142 degrees. Okay, because added together add up to 180. So go ahead and do this one for me. Okay, vertical angles. This one I think is easier, but we'll see what you think. Vertical angles are basically opposite angles formed by crossing but two intersecting lines, and they are congruent. Okay, so they're opposite right here. This will be a pair of vertical angles. This will be another pair of vertical angles. Okay, so let me go ahead and go ahead and give you one for this, and then you do the rest for that one. So that will be angle, for instance, 3 is vertical to angle 4. Okay, give me the other pair for this one. Okay, go ahead and answer number 2. I'm gonna do number 3 and number 6, and then you do the rest. So remember, vertical angles are congruent, they're the same. So I'm gonna set them up. I'm gonna set an equation because this one's gonna be equal to that. So I have 7 plus 13x equals negative 20 plus 16x. I don't want to deal with negatives, so I'm gonna move the 20 to the other side right here, and then 27. Subtract the 13x. So isolate my x, I have 27 equals 3x, which divided by 3, divided by 3, that means x equals to 9, and I'm going to plug it in. So I have 7 plus 13 times 9. 13 times 9. Okay, so doing this one right here, I realized that I think the bit of author of this little booklet should have put this one right here, because that's 124, and these are actually acute angles, so I think they go there. So just make the little change, but essentially you see the answer. Okay, so we were looking for this right here. Okay, same thing right here. You're gonna set them equal to each other and figure that out. Let me go ahead and help you with this one right here. So in this case, we know the vertical angles are the same. So therefore, this one and that one are gonna be the same. So that's 72. Okay, and then this one and this one are vertical angles, so those are gonna be the same as well. So that's 41. Now you need to find 4 or 2, because remember those are vertical angles. So once you find one of those, that would help you get the other one because it's the same. Now what we know about this is that any angles that create a line like this, in this case like this one right here, that will be 180. So then if you have 72 here, 41 here, what does this need to be to make it to 180? Okay, that's a hint. And lastly, a linear pair. So linear pair again are a pair of angles that create a line. That's what they're called linear pair. They do have to be adjacent, so they have to be neighbor angles. Okay, so they have to create a line, and it's the same idea with supplementary angles. So I'm gonna give you a pair for this one, and then use the other two, and then I'll help you with one of the ones with the expressions, and then you can figure out the rest of them. In this case, I can say that angle 6 and angle 8 are linear pairs. Okay, so there are other I believe 2 pairs for that. Okay, so let me go ahead and do number 4 for you, because that seems to be the hardest. So when you add those two together, that's gonna give you 180. So then 27 times 1 divided by 3, that's 9x, and then 6 times 1 divided by 3, that's 2, and I'm gonna add that to, that will be 3x, and half of that is negative 10. I think it's the one that we just did in the other one, right? So then combine like terms, so that's 12x, and then minus 12 equals 180. Subtract, add 12 on both sides. Divide by 12. So x equals to 16, and I'm gonna plug in now. So then I go 9 times 16 minus 2. Another one's gonna be 3 times 16 minus 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one from, so this is 48 minus 10. This is gonna be 38 degrees, and what number plus 1 once 38 gives you 180, that will be 142. So then this will be measurement of angle 1 equals, and this is measurement of angle 2 equals. Okay, alrighty, so then you'll do the rest for me on the booklet, and I'll tell you which one to do on that puzzle. God bless you. Bye bye.